Joining me now is Steve Orr, founder and CEO at Quasar Markets. Steve, welcome. How you doing?
Thanks for having me, Ashley.
All right, good to see you. So we are coming off of a winning session yesterday after CPI data was released. What did you make of the data and yesterday's session?
I mean, after several months of not having real data, all of a sudden we've got some data, right? And it's not the best data. But the thing I like about it is that CPI is actually coming down. Inflation's coming down to a point now where we're feeling a little bit better about the inflation, and you're seeing the markets respond to that too as well. And that's exactly what the Fed was saying to us. We need to see inflation come down. We need to see job numbers, and they're finally getting some numbers. Now, there were some issues, obviously, in the numbers. There's some missing pieces to it, like rent, which is a big piece. But I think they're coming down, and I think that's what the Fed wanted to see.
All right, and how do you think it'll affect the Fed's policy moving forward into 2026, if at all?
I have no idea what I had for breakfast this morning. I have no idea what the Fed's going to say, but I would like for them to say, look, we're getting what they're asking for, right? They're asking for lower inflation. They're asking for numbers that come more in line to what they said they wanted to see, which is 2%. Now, 2%'s out of, there's no way it's going to happen, but it's coming in the right direction.
All right, it's the holiday season. I have to ask you about the Santa Claus rally. Can you explain to our viewers what it is, and do you think we're going to see one this year?
Well, the Santa Rally is always the first trading day after Christmas, and it goes all the way into the first week of January. And ho, 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 we're going to have a Santa Rally. I mean, it's coming because, quite frankly, the tech selling that we saw, the rotation, has slowed up. And we're starting to see some buying going on there. But even better, the tax selling has stopped now. So you're not going to see maybe some light volume today and a few other days. But for the most part, we're going to have a Santa Rally.
How do you know?
Because we've seen it in the past, almost sometimes the exact same way that we've been seeing this, right? Low volume, we saw heavy tax selling from a good year, shall we say, and the rotation at the end. So we've seen this a few times in a few decades. So I see it again this year, and everywhere I talk on Wall Street, and I talk to a lot of people here, they're all saying the same thing. Yep, Santa's coming to town.
All right, and I understand you believe that doubt is powering the upside. What do you mean by this?
Well, in the past year, most of it's been tech, right? And tech's a NASDAQ thing. But when I look at the future, I'm looking at what's really going to be doing for manufacturing. The president has said he wants to be a manufacturing country, and we're starting to see some of that, building some of the buildings for AI. And so right now, that industrial side of things are working out, and I like that side. Also, some of the bigger pieces that are in the Dow Jones Industrial Average are also doing quite well, too, as well. I also tell you that I think the big picture is also biotech as well. It's going to be huge this year. So there's a lot of rotation, not just in AI out of it, but I think back into it. So I think it's going to be a serious rally coming 2026. I think people are going to be happy about 2026.
All right, and according to Goldman Sachs, more than $7.1 trillion are set to expire today in a quadruple witching event. What is that? And what does it mean for market activity? Can you break it down for us?
As I always say, spooky, spooky, spooky. Quad witching is when all of the expiries come off at the same time, weeklies, quarterlies, monthlies. And there's been a lot to the downside, the short side. So they're going to be covering today and this week. So quite frankly, that's another thing that's going to push us up a bit. So yeah, that's a lot, by the way, to the options.
All right, and you mentioned the Santa Claus rally before. Is there anything else you're covering as the holidays and the New Year are ramping up?
You know, I had a great chance to meet a great couple in Bryant Square Park this week and asking about toys. What are the hot toys and what do kids want this year? And they said Barbie and they said Apple. They want Apple products. So I see that to be a hot area too as well. Tech, mobile tech. I also see nuclear energy being very hot going into this year. As I said earlier, biotech is going to be very hot, I think, this year as well, especially with AI coming into biotech. And the last sector that I'm really looking forward to is retail. I really want to see retail picking back up. Do I see that yet? I bought Costco. So that's one that I really like right now because I think people are still buying at Costco.
Okay, what is your take? You just mentioned AI. What is your take on AI, next year?
Well, the first inning, I think, is over. We're going in the second inning, and it's going to be just as hot as it was this year. I think there was some profit taking in AI, and I think we got over our skis a bit coming into November. And then December, we took a little bit off. But I'll tell you, it's going to go right back into it. AI is not stopping. It's only growing. You see data centers being built everywhere. Texas is becoming a great state to move into if you're looking for tech. And the next level of all of this is when you look at AI, it's what they're building. So the spend is growing even more.
more. Look at Facebook, Meta saying the same thing, right? Microsoft is saying the same thing. My goodness, they're looking at 3 Mile Island and restarting nuclear power plants to have enough energy. So energy is another sector that I'm really liking too as well.
And do you think, like some of our guests are talking about an AI bubble, do you think what is your take on the bubble?
I get asked that question quite a bit, and look, we're going to go through several bubbles. We went through several bubbles of the internet, right? And I expect that, and I expect the booms and the busts and continue. The pickaxes and the shovels are still working with the data centers, but I will say that AI in general, we're in the second inning right now. We just started the second inning. The first inning was let's get it started and let's get it up and running and get people hooked on AI, but we are not going to stop. It's like telling people you can't be on the internet anymore. I mean, people are more hooked on AI than in ChatGPT than they are in Google now. So I really think that AI it's going to be a really hot 2026, and I really think 2027 will be really hot. We won't even say what's AI like. We'll just be using AI.
Are you looking at quantum at all?
Absolutely. Quantum computing is the next level of this. And I'll tell you, the stock that I love with quantum computing is IBM. I mean, that big blue has got it going on with Watson X. So I really do like IBM here.
And how are you advising your clients as we go into 2026 with the volatility and the economic headwinds?
Same thing, right? Be protective. Make sure you've got some protection on there. You always buy it when you can, not when you have to, right? But the VIX has been pretty low this year, considering even the selling, the VIX didn't even jump that much. So that means that the traders aren't that scared.
All right, Steve Orr, founder and CEO at Quasar Markets. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Ashley.